Inside of today's video, I'm going to give you guys a complete walkthrough of how I think about draft and everything else and do it live. So, we're just going to be going through drafts pretty much inside of this video and then, of course, talk about the outcome after it happens. But I think this will be a good insight if you guys want to improve in drafting, because drafting is a big factor in ranked. A lot of it can come down to draft whether you win or not, because sometimes it is unwinnable just because of how your teammates picked, you know. But the thing is to consider, like I always rage at bad randoms, but you can always turn things into your favor. So they go with a chuck. I know straight away that we either got to go something defensive or something that can at least farm supers from the chuck and get good offensive damage. So I'm thinking Jesse could be a pretty decent hybrid into this. Meg could also be pretty good as well. And also the Melody. You know what? I'm going to pick Melody. Mainly because when you're facing off against Chuck, again, you need something defensive. Gale can do that. But you need something that's going to apply a lot of pressure. So whether that be Colt, but Colt's going to be pretty awkward to hit Chuck consistently with. Melody's just going to out DPS a Chuck, especially because of her notes. And again, that's what we want as a last pick as well. So they go with a Meg, which is a pretty decent pick. And they go with Colt as well. So they're going with a big high DPS combo. We probably need to go the same. If I was our teammate, I would be looking to go something, again, big DPS that's going to get onto the safe. So whether that's a Jesse, whether that is something along those lines. Let me see if he has Jesse maxed out. Let's try and suggest him to Jesse. And again, I think Jesse's good against Meg and just can be good for damage. He goes with the Amber. So in terms of drafting, I think we could have done it a little bit better because they managed to get Meg and Chuck. But I think if we stick to our plan, just farm as many supers as possible with Melody, I think we should be good to go. So let's skip ahead to the result. That's going to be the conclusion for the first game then. So as you can see, I didn't get the best stats, but my job completely there was just going in aggro as much as possible, making sure that Chuck can't get those posts up safely. And as long as we kept applying pressure, there was nothing they could do. Colt is bad on defense, Chuck is bad on defense, and we just overwhelmed them so easily. So you've seen the draft right there against Chuck. Let's jump into the next one. Okay, so second game, we have Bounty Hideout. This time it's different. So as you can see, we have first pick. We've got to be looking at good late picks in Hideout. So I know for sure that Miko can be really annoying on this map, so I might be thinking about that Brawler for sure. Where is the Miko? Miko could be a good one. Lily could be a good one to ban. You know what? I'm going to ban Lily instead, mainly because she can be really dangerous, especially when there's a bunch of, there's a lot of grass here, and that gadget's going to get a lot of value. So big thing to consider. So in terms of draft, this is one thing that you should not be doing, is picking a thrower early on in the draft that is Sprout. You can go throwers like Barley, Larry, and Laurie because they're a lot safer against aggro Berry as well. But Sprout, he's so suspect to aggressive things. So that is a very bad first pick from our teammate. And I know suggesting things can go a long way, but sometimes your teammates are just going to go whatever else. So we're actually facing off against Hank, which is hilarious. But we've definitely got to go something that can deal with some aggression, seeing as we have Sprout. So straight away, I'm thinking of anything that can be a decent tank counter. Also, Melody could be a good shout as well. You know what? Jean could be good into a lot of things, especially on a Hideout. RT would be a good option as well. I'll probably go like Jean and RT, to be honest. That would be a good combination. Let me see if I can. I don't normally suggest, but I think RT would be just great. Jean and RT has that synergy together. RT is good against any more aggression. And of course, we've got to defend ourselves because we have a Sprout. So that's just one thing to bear in mind. Again, the build is going to be something like this. But if they go with tanks, I might even opt to switch to the Spirit Slap because we will need that extra DPS. But I don't think that's going to be the case. And it's going to be a Mandy instead. So we're going to go with something like this in terms of the build. I feel like we don't really need the vision gear on this map. So we're going to go with the shield gear instead, facing off against two snipers. So this is a draft. I'm pretty happy with it. They've got no way to really deal with the Sprout somehow. So let's jump into the game. So that's going to be it for the second game. And I know it's kind of a bad example because the opponent picked Hank and went 1 and 12. But you get my thinking with the draft and everything. Overall, we actually had a decent composition somehow. So look at good synergies like Jean and RT, especially when you're put in a bad situation. But again, like sometimes ranked can't be helped in terms of bad randoms. So that's the second draft. Let's hop into another. Okay, so jumping into draft number 3, we've got Hot Zone Dueling Beetles. So taking a look at the coin flip would definitely change who we're banning. So Dueling Beetles, we're definitely going to ban the likes of Gale. Gale is super toxic. You can just tell I just don't like Gale in this meta. Really annoying to face off against because he's good into everything in his meta, especially with that super. So my teammate bans Edgar, so I know straight away that he's going to be dumb. I know that I'm probably going to have to pick a hard carry brawler inside of this. So again, even though your teammates might pick something dumb, you can always make and draft around it. Poco Sandy, that's easily countable. Like if the opponent went an Ems, we would lose in a flash. Ems counters Sandy, Ems counters Poco. They go Surge, Berry. This is looking like a disaster class from us. But I might go Clancy. Good hard carry pick, especially seeing as there's a Jackie. I'm going to feed my levels quite easily. We haven't got a throw though. That is the most annoying thing. So I might take a look. Is there Barley? No, there is no Barley. I don't think Larry has the DPS to deal with this. Is there any other brawler? I mean, Jesse, not really going to be good against a thrower. I think Clancy's going to be the carry pick in this option. I know it's pretty self-explanatory just going Clancy into a tank, but a lot of times it can be quite risky because there is a thrower. So I'm going to go with this setup right here. I'm just going to hope that I'm going to feed a lot of levels from the Jackie. That's what I'm going to be aiming for inside of this game. So let's jump into it. So that's it for the third game. And boy, was it absolutely disastrous. I knew this was coming. Even with Clancy dealing both of my teammates' damage combined, I couldn't carry hard enough. So sometimes it is pretty hard because my teammates made the bad mistake of going Poco and Sandy together. Two really low DPS brawlers. You do not want to go two brawlers like that in the same composition. I think if I was to change the draft, maybe I could have gone for like a Griff or something to break open the map because they just kept camping behind the walls. But I don't know. I think that was near enough unwinnable just because of how well they drafted into our composition. So sometimes you can't win them all. But let's jump into the next. Okay, so jumping into another bounty hideout match. We have first pick this time around. So again, late picks. I'm gonna ban maybe Larry and Laurie this time. Throwers can be really good to ban in bounty, or I don't know, Miko can be countered pretty easily in this meta. You know, the likes of Lily as well, you can just group up and counter, whilst throwers can be pretty annoying, especially in the draft. You want to ban those brawlers that can counter your entire composition. That's normally assassins or throwers. Those are typically the big ones. So Gene first pick from my teammate. That is a great first pick, especially on bounty. Can never really go wrong with Gene. Gene's good into everything. One pull can counter pretty much every brawler inside of the game. You're eventually going to get your pull right. You're going to be able to heal up your teammates. That's why I love Gene in draft. There's hardly anyone to counter him except for like maybe Mr. P, but he's not very meta right now. So they go with Fang and Nani. Gene's good counter to Nani, so I'm not too scared about that. Fang, that is interesting. So I've got to make sure that I'm not picking a thrower into Fang. I'm picking like a shop. Not really a sharpshooter even. Okay, I think Pearl could be a great option here. Straight the way. Maybe like Otis would be a good option as well. Charlie could be pretty decent. Kit could be even good. Cordelius, really good option as well. Colt definitely isn't the option. You know what? I'm going to go against my rule and try and get him to go something else. Maybe like a Leo. Okay, yeah, again, a lot of times in ranks, you can't help what your teammates go. But I think I've given myself a good shot because Pearl is pretty good against snipers a lot of the time. I'm not too confident actually anymore. Colt isn't good against everything. Colt is not a good bounty brawler whatsoever. Gets countered by Fang, gets countered by Nani and Mandy. So I think it's going to be a pretty hard one. But again, it's down to me and the Gene. If we can team up and not get teamed up by this Fang, I'm pretty confident in the draft still. So this is the aftermath after draft number 4. As you can see, I picked the perfect brawler. Again, it was a dumb decision by the opponents, but still drafting smartly, knowing that Pearl is pretty good into snipers, really good into assassins, and really underrated in bounty. I knew I had a safe pick. Again, I was just making sure that I was defending the Colt a lot of the time and making sure to utilize my gadgets as much as possible. But that was a great draft again from us. Let's jump into the next one. Okay, so now jumping into Shooting Star, we can see they have a late pick. I don't think there's many good late pick options, so instead I'm just going to ban Tick because Tick is pretty annoying. In terms, I don't know, there's not really a lot that is super annoying as a late pick on Shooting Star. There are like, I don't know, for good players, there's like Mortis and trying to think, maybe not even a Lily anymore. That's probably about it. Maybe not even a Kit. You can't really get out with Kit. Miko maybe late pick. Carl late pick. Those could be some really annoying ones. So first pick Byron isn't the worst from my teammates. So straight away I know that Byron, you can't really get away with, well, you can get away with going 3 snipers on this map. So they've gone with a Bell and a Sprout. So we've got to go someone, either a Gene that can contest with the Sprout in the middle, or we've got to go a thrower of our choice. So we could go a little bit more dangerous and go Miko ourselves here. We could go with a Carl. If I was a good enough player, I would probably go that. I might still go with a Carl option. Mandy could be an option. We could have a Larry against a Sprout in the middle. Let me see. Can we go with a... I'm going to go with a Larry. Larry's a safer option. just because, again, I don't think I'm him on the Carl. But if you're a little bit more adventurous, I think Carl would be good because you can constantly apply the pressure onto the Sprout. Larry's a safe pair of hands, especially in bounty. So in terms of that late pick, if what I would go, I don't even know what to go. Jean is okay into this. I probably would have gone with like Mandy or something else that could hard carry. But I'm happy with this matchup overall. We've got Piper, we've got Byron. That these two should be able to win their 1v1s. It's just gonna be a stalemate with me and Sprout. So I think we've got a good chance. So that's gonna be the end of that game. And as you can see, we won 2-1. Pretty convincing on my side of things. I knew with Larry that I would have defensive capabilities against the Jean pool. I knew that Piper should be able to beat the likes of Jean and Belle when it comes to kills. She did okay, and then Byron can offer some good utility, and overall wasn't really too much of a threat. So yeah, I think that was a perfect draft. Let's hop into another. Okay, so moving into the next game, then we have penalty kick Brawl. So straight away, you want to ban as many throwers as possible. I've got to find Dynamite right here. I believe I messed up with my set. Where is Dynamite? What rare? Okay, I don't know how I was that dumb yet. Barley's the perfect first pick here. Literally, you can go Barley, Larry, Berry as a first pick and penalty kick and get away with it. Like, look at the map. It's so thrower heavy. You can just go them no matter what and get away with it. So they go with BB and the Colt right here. Colt could be a good sleeper pick to open up the map against our thrower. So who could be good into both of these? We could go with Buzz could actually be pretty underrated into both of these. I think Cordelius might be the strategy though. Cordelius good into a BB, good into Colt because he got the very fast movement speed, and a really underrated pick on penalty kick because, again, you can counter throwers with the jump, you can counter tanks, and just overall in Brawl Ball, Cordelius can be great because you can remove someone from the objective and get easy goals. So Sandy isn't a great pick on this map from my teammate, mainly because, okay, it goes over to Surge. Surge can be alright. He's going to get a lot of levels from the BB. Again, I don't know whether I would have gone with a Surge just because there's not a lot of grass. It can be pretty hard for him, especially if they go a throw of their own. But again, that wouldn't be good comp synergy from them because if they have the thrower and a Colt, it's like, well, you're going Colt to break open the map, but then you're going to throw yourself. So I think they've just got to, I don't know, they can't really go any tank. They do go with a tank, actually. I think this looks pretty over for them. To be honest, we definitely have the composition. I'm going to switch over to the combo shrooms star power as well to destroy those tanks. I'm going to keep with both of these because I'm going to need it. So yeah, let's jump into the game. Okay, so that's going to be the end of that game. As you can see, I think that was just a really good draft from them. They went the Colt to counter the Barley, which was great. They went Buster to counter me. That was great. I think I probably overestimated our draft a little bit. Things that I could have done differently, I don't actually know. I just think they actually just had the better draft. They were able to get some pretty good combos, and I just couldn't really get anything going. It was really hard because they were just constantly you know, together, and they constantly outranged the Surge and the Barley as well. So great draft from them, to be honest. Let's jump into the next. Okay, so we have Knockout out in the open now. So in terms of the best bans, we're going to go over to Jean. A lot of the time, people don't end up banning Jean, but I don't think my teammates really go Jean too often. So he is probably the best first pick on this map, mainly because of the grass. You've got the vision gear, and Jean's just great in knockout and bounty, as I've said before. You can never go wrong with him early on in the draft. That's what you want early on in the draft. Those safe brawlers that aren't countered too easily. They're just the best brawlers in the game, but there's always kind of like a rule in certain game modes, and definitely a knockout. It is the likes of Jean. You know, Piper can still be pretty good as an early pick as well. That is banned though. So we go with Byron. But Byron's pretty good, but into a Leon, you got to be careful, especially if my teammate goes Nanny as well. This could be looking pretty dangerous because I think Leon can definitely have a number on us. They go with the Carl, which again is pretty good into these snipers. So I've got to be looking at maybe something like Pearl again. This could be another Pearl game, to be honest. I don't want to go the same type of brawlers, but if they keep giving me this option, Pearl is that great hybrid brawler, good against those kind of annoying brawlers and knockout and bounty. Are there any other options? There is RT, but normally I like RT is like an in-between pick. It's not really the best as a late pick, and they go with the Brock. So pretty interesting. I'm thinking this. I mean, Meg could be pretty good as well if I lock onto them. I think Loki Kit could be pretty good as well. But I'm going to go Kit. I'm going to mix things up. The reason why I'm going Kit is because Kit can be good into Brock, good into a Carl as well to counter out the super. And yeah, I think Kit will be good as a standalone brawler. Normally you need synergy, but I think I should be able to have enough pressure to get us the win inside of this game. So that's going to be the end of that game. Kit was a fantastic pick. I could just go super aggressive. There was no way for Carl and Brock to really scout me out effectively. And none of them really had like a push or knockback or just anything really to deal with me. And it worked in really good combination with a nanny as well. Kit with a sharpshooter just equals death a lot of the time. So great draft from me. Let's jump into the final one. Okay, so moving into the final draft, we have parallel plays again. So I'm going to end up banning... Where is Berry? Berry is very annoying, as you've seen in one of the drafts earlier on. But maybe I can use that to learn from and get better within this draft. So my teammate goes with an early pick Lily. The reason why you don't want to go early pick Lily is literally because of this. Assassins get counted early on in the draft, and that's exactly why you don't go early pick Lily. Sometimes you can use it as a way of I don't know, you kind of experiment with stuff like that, but it's never a good idea. Never a good idea. You know, sometimes you can draw it out so they go double tank counters and then we can counter their counters, but it just leads to a messier draft, and it's not really how I should be teaching you guys. And we go with a Jackie. Oh man, how am I supposed to win this? This is impossible. I mean, some games are literally impossible. If I win this game, it'll be a new world record. Yeah, I have no hope with this one. But I'm going to go with the damage star power here. Instead, I'm going to go with a slow to try and take down the Miko. I just need as much damage as possible or else we're screwed. And that's going to be the final game. And one draft tip is to take a look at the map properly, because I thought it was dueling beetles, so that affected my bans and my thinking throughout the draft. But luckily, Barley was still good on parallel plays. Jackie was actually not too bad. To be honest, their draft, I just don't really know about it. Like, Miko, I mean, it's good counter to Barley, but just overall, like, Lily has a lot of HP, Jackie has a lot of HP. I wouldn't have gone Miko only as the last pick, and I just think Barley was just so good against all of that they just couldn't cope. There was nothing to really deal with me and the aggression from Jackie and Lily. So that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you guys got some good insight on why I draft and whatever else. If you want me to do a complete breakdown properly of literally going game mode by game mode and just doing a bunch of different situations, I'll happily do that. So make sure to write that in the comment section below. But yeah, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.